now. So I kind of like the first part of the chapter because we can stay a little bit ahead for a while. So when you go to class today, you should be sort of like, oh, I kind of know some of that already. But what I'm going to do first of all is, you have a packet, I put it right there, but you might have got one last week. I think what we're going to do is, on this worksheet, we're going to go, and I'm going to highlight some words. We're going to go put them on the note card, and then we'll come back to the worksheet and do a couple. Those of you at home, if you're watching this, it's best if you start a note card early, because then you have it for your quizzes and stuff as you go. And I know there's a quiz on 3.1 to 3.3 sometime, either later this week or early next week, and it's nice to have a note card to look at. So you guys with me, are you ready? We're going to go hop on here and go highlight some stuff. First thing, parallel. All right, and you can just underline it if you want. We're on worksheet 3.1. And if you read through here, Ellie, if you kind of just read, is there a word in here you think I'm going to highlight? Skew. Yeah, if you didn't at home hear her. So first thing we're going to talk about is the difference between parallel and skew lines and planes. All right, we're going to go down here. We're going to make sure that we know our notation so that we know what that means. So again, I'm just highlighting it on their worksheet, and we're going to go put it on the note card in just a second. All of these are new words. Corresponding, same side interior, alternate exterior. We'll go put those on your note card. Next up, it's got that same, so no new vocabulary. I think we are good. All right, so we're going to go to the note card right off the bat. I'm going to go to a blank sheet of paper here, which is your note card. Go ahead and write chapter 3 on it. All right, chapter 3, and we're going to put those, I think, 6 things on the note card. Again, don't write too big so that you have enough room to get the whole chapter on there. But first of all, let's write parallel, lines, or planes. And then I also highlighted that symbol. These two lines running like this is the symbol for parallel. So just kind of know that that's a symbol for parallel. Make sure you know that to name a line, because you're going to have to name them, make sure you know that you put any 2 letters on it, and you put the arrow on both sides. That's from chapter 1. Also make sure that for the planes, you choose at least 3 letters on it, and any 3. So if I wanted to lock you into the ceiling, I'd have to pick 3 points minimum. So, and then you don't put anything in front of it. All right, so do you know what parallel means, you guys? Like, what does it mean if 2 lines are parallel? Well, sort of. They never cross, and they have the same steepness, like the same slope to them. So they never cross. But I don't know if you remember from Algebra 1 where we talk about slope. Do you guys remember that from Algebra 1, Matt? What slope is? It's kind of like the slant of something. So these, when lines are parallel, they never cross because they have the same slope and they're on the same plane. Like they're both on the floor. So there's a difference between these lines never crossing. Okay, so go ahead and draw it, and let's put this on a plane so you can see it. So those right there would be called parallel lines. But the next word up there was skew. And you guys let me know if I'm going too fast, because you want to make this nice and neat so you can read it. Am I going too fast, Els? All right, skew also never cross. You can have skew lines, okay, or skew planes, but they also never cross. The difference is they don't have the same slant to them, or sometimes we'll say they're not on the same plane. So watch me draw a pair of skew lines on this sheet of paper. Suppose I went like this, and I drew a line on that sheet of paper, and then, Matt, I came through and I stabbed one through the back side of it. You know what I mean? Like, this line is laying on the floor. The one behind it is stabbing through it. So you see this line on the floor right here, right? If I stab one through over that way, it'll never cross, right? But they're not parallel because they have different slants to them. So you see these have different slants to them, line L and line P, but they'll never cross because L is behind P, stabbing through the paper. So skew lines never touch or cross each other, but they have different slopes to them. I'm going to stop right here. We're going to go practice these two words on your assignment for today. We'll get a couple ahead, okay, just so you understand what those words mean. So I'm going to go back here to 3.1. Those of you at home already took the notes, so you were aware of that. But we're going to do a parallel plane, and we'll do some skew lines, just so you know the difference. So when it talks about a plane, it means like if this was your room, it's the floor, the ceiling, right? The front wall, the back wall, and the side walls. It's like this room. When it talks about a parallel plane, let's go talk about, let's put ourselves on the ceiling. Which plane do you think is parallel to the ceiling? It'll never cross it. Which plane is parallel to the ceiling? The walls or the floor? They'll never cross it. The floor. Yeah, you're right. Down here, they'll never cross. They are running parallel. All right? So when it says list a pair of parallel planes, let's choose. Now, I didn't have to choose that particular set, but I couldn't have chose this side wall and the ceiling because they cross right here. They meet in a corner. So those aren't parallel, right? If Matt chose the left wall, he'd have to choose the right wall. Those will never cross. Does that make sense, Ellie? So when we name those parallel planes, let's choose the ceiling, Q, S, T, and let's throw all 4 letters. You need at least 3 letters to name a plane. And then let's go name the floor, U, W, X, V. Does that make sense, Matt? They'll never cross. Next step, I'm going to erase this thing, and I'm going to go to red, and I'm going to draw a line WX. It's this one right here. So Ellie, there's 3 lines on there that are parallel to it. This one back here, don't write it down. This one right here, ST and QR. Do you see how those will never cross each other? But skew means they never cross each other and they have different slopes. So if I go like this one behind it won't ever cross it because it's behind it. Does that make sense? So that one on the back, it's kind of like in this room. Let me look at a corner. See that corner? Matt, look in the corner. Do you see that line in the corner? Do you see that line in the back of the floor? They're never going to cross. But they have different slopes and they're in different planes. So one of them would be Q, U, and you put the line symbol over it. I want you to give me another one that will never cross WX, but it's not parallel to it. It's either in front of it, or behind it, or above it, because it says to list 4 of them. Got another one for me, Ellie? RV is perfect. It's behind it. Excellent. You get the difference between skew and parallel, right? Another one, Matt, is this guy up here, because it's on the ceiling. This one's on the floor. The floor can't intersect the ceiling. That'd be silly. So another one is QS, but can you give me the 4th one, Matt? There's one more that'll never hit WX. Ellie gave me, I did this one, QU, in the back. Ellie gave me RV in the back. And I just gave QS up on the ceiling. There's another one. WX is WX.
Oh.
What one do you think, Els? UV. That will never cross it, but that's parallel. ST, also parallel. You see, they have the exact same steepness to them. How about this guy up on the ceiling? You see it? It's floating at a different slant. So RT will never ever cross it. So that's the difference between parallel and skew. So now it says right here, what did I say this symbol means on your note card? Parallel. So they're asking you, is AB, this guy, parallel to DE? I think they look very parallel, right? They'll never cross and they have the exact same steepness and they're in the same plane. So it says, decide if it's true or false. I'm going to say that's true. All right? What do you think? Let's go do a skew one. Let's go down here and let's talk about 9. Our AD, so I'm going to go draw that one. AD is running through the top of this tent. Picture that as like a tent. Do you ever go camping? That's the top seam up there for the tent. And BE is down here. And it asks if there's skew. What do you think the answer to that is? False. Yep. And if it says if false, explain. Those aren't skew. They have the exact same steepness to them, right? They're running parallel. So you'd put parallel. All right, so that's the difference between skew and parallel. Now we're going to go talk about these kinds of angles that get names. Okay, so we're going to go back to the note card. And we're going to draw a little bar here. And again, don't take up too much space. But what I want you to do is draw some lines. You can look like that. And when you slice two lines with another line, Matt, it's called a transversal. What did I say it's called? Yes. So I'm going to have you write that because sometimes in your homework, or it might say draw two lines cut by a transversal. So this guy's called a transversal. It's the slicer, is what I like to call it. Now take a look up here. On this slicer, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles. Do you see all those purple dots? They get special names. The ones smashed between here, because they're inside those two lines, they have the word interior in them. Okay? I have you write these down. Alternate interior. And what I want you to do, Ellie, is underline that word in. They're inside the parallel lines. So my interior angles are these 4 dots that are between the two lines. Does that make sense? Now, Ellie, do you see how we're going to go number these? So now I'm going to take the purple dots away. Just so you guys, just doing that with my finger so you could see it. So I'm going to go take those and call them angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my interior ones are these. They're inside. The alternate means they're on opposite sides of that transversal. So that'd be 4 and 6. Do you see how they're across from each other? And 3 and 6. I'm sorry, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 5. That's a 5 right there. So angle 4 and angle 5. They're inside and across from each other. Angle 3 and angle 6. Those are alternate interior. I'm going to erase this again. Go back in here. You guys should just have them labeled, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. These ones that don't cross over, like 3 and 5, they're called same side interior. It makes sense because they're both on the left, right? So same side. Would be 3 and 5, and who else, guys? What other two do you think I'd call same side interior? 4 and 6 L's. Yep. You got it. All right, I'm gonna go erase this again. You guys you have them numbered, don't you, Matt? Okay, so make sure yours are numbered, and I'm just using my highlighter to kind of clear it up. When you're in the same spot, I'm gonna go yellow, actually, I don't like that purple on there. When I'm in the same spot, like that angle 2, and then down here, do you see how they're both sort of in the top right in their clump of 4? It's like if I were to talk about this as being a clump of 4, and this box being a clump of 4. Angle 2 and angle 6 are both in the top right. Those are called corresponding angles when they're in the same spot. So we're going to write corresponding angles. And I'm going to list 2 pairs, and then you guys are going to tell me, I'll ask each of you to list another pair. So 2 and 6 are both in the top right. 4 and 8 are both in the bottom right. So that's another pair. So we're going to say angle 2 and angle 6, angle 4 and angle 8. Top right, bottom right. So Ellie, you're up. Who would be the corresponding angle to angle 1? Angle 5, top left. Yep. So angle 1 and angle 5. Whoops. And Matt, who would be the corresponding angle to angle 3? 4. Nope. It's in the bottom left. So you go to the bottom left. These two. Bottom left. 3 and 7. Yep. Angle 3 and angle 7. All right. So we've got alternate interior, same side interior, corresponding, and we have one more. I'm going to erase it and redraw it because all my highlighting is getting kind of messy. But I had one going like this, and I had one going like that, and I sliced it, and we called them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Isn't that how we had it labeled? Ellie, on the outside, these are called exterior. Okay? And when you hop the transversal, they're called alternate. Alternate exterior. And then we're going to go back to the worksheet. Do a couple and I'll let you just chill because you'll be taking notes on this in class today. This is mainly for the people at home today. You guys, your notes are going to be really sort of like, oh, I kind of already know that, right? But Matt, they're called exterior because they're on the outside of the parallel lines. These were interior because they were squeezed in between the lines. So alternate exterior would be angle 1 and angle 8. The other pair would be 2 and 7. Alternate and on the outside. So Els, we're going to write angle 2 and angle 7. That's all you need on your note card for today's. And then we're going to go over here, practice a couple, and then you guys can decide if you want to just be done or get even more ahead on it. But we're going to go back to the worksheet. We're going to go to the bottom where there's a really similar picture. All right? And it says identify all pairs of each type of angle. So it's the same situation. We have 2 parallel lines, which I'll leave in black. They're not parallel. There's 2 lines cut by a transversal. And it's creating 2 clumps of 4 angles. So I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start with the interior because that's how our notes went. So which ones do you think are considered interior angles? 2, 8, 3, 5 are all the interior. Excellent, Ellie. So the alternate interior, you are right, Ellie. Angle 2 and angle 8 would be one pair. What's the other pair? 2 and 8 are alternate interior. And angle 3 and angle 5. Angle 3 and angle 5. Excellent. Do you get why she picked those, Matt? Yeah. They're inside and they're opposite sides of that red line. Yes. For same side interior, we're still going to be inside the 2 lines, but we're going to be on the same side of the red line. So it'd be 2 and 5, and 3 and 8. There you go. Okay, we're going to do them in the order that we put them on the note card. Corresponding angles, I like to call them the same spot. So if I were to take 2 different colors, I'm going to go blue for this chunk of 4. And I'm going to go green for this chunk of 4. Okay? So when you're thinking of corresponding, you're thinking of ones in the same spot. I'm going to start. In blue, I'm going to choose angle 1. And I need the one that's in the same spot. Like if I were to cut out the green box and put it on top, right? Bless you! Who would go with angle 1? 5. Yep. Excellent. They're in the same spot, top left. So then angle 2 and angle 6, top right, you're hopping one blue to a green in the same spot. So 4 is in the same spot as 8. And I'll let you guys list the last one. Let me erase it. Now, Matt, if these were the interior, if these, doesn't like me holding on to that, but I like using the highlighter. If these were the interior right here, because they're inside the lines, right? Then the exterior are going to be these, outside the 2 lines. Now, when it says alternate exterior, I need yellow that are on all opposite sides. 1 and 7, now you got it. Angle 1 and angle 7, and 6 and 4. Perfect. What do you think, Ellie? Good? Okay, let's go to the next page, try one more and be done. It says to decide what kind these are. We're going to go to 6 and 4, and of those 4 names on your note card, we're going to decide if 4 and 6 are corresponding in their same spots, alternate interior, same side interior, or alternate exterior. I'll let you guys think about that. Which one would you pick? Whoopsie, sorry. For these. Are they alternate interior, same side interior, corresponding, or alternate exterior? I'm going to eliminate this one because they're in between the 2 lines. So it's certainly not alternate exterior. I'll let you see. What are you writing down, Allie? What do you think those are? Yes, it is the first one. You can't hear at home, but she's choosing alternate interior because they're both inside the 2 lines. They're squeezed in between them. But why'd she choose alternate, Matt? Cross the line. Yes. If we didn't cross the line, like number 15 above it, we're still inside, but we're on the same side. So these would be alternate interior. And these would be same side. And I'm going to let you guys be done. We'll go to lunch in like 5 minutes. You can either keep working, if you think you got the hang of it, go home without maybe no homework, because you have some work time in class today, right? Right? All right, I'm going to pause this sucker.